I'm just going to jump over to the Excel sheet, and your Excel should open on a page that looks like this. And we can see an Excel sheet basically has cells that are formed by different rows and different columns. Our columns are labeled using the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you can see if we go beyond Z, it continues with AA, AB, AC, and it goes for quite a long ways to the right. And similarly, our rows have numbers, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And of course, if you kind of scroll down, you can see that this will go for quite a ways. We're just going to be working right here in this area of the spreadsheet though. So if you look at the intersection between a row and a column, I'm just going to click my cursor here in a cell. We can see that this cell then is the intersection of row 10 and column F. And we call this is, I'm just going to type it in here. This is cell F5 or F10. F10. Down here, if you want to make your spreadsheet a little bit bigger, you can enlarge it. Now let me click that in. And we can see this a little bit better here. So this is cell F10. If I put my cursor over here, I'm in I, column I, row 5. And of course here I am in H6. So you can see that there's a way that Excel references a particular cell is by referencing the column and then the row. Let's go ahead and we can just delete the contents that are in this cell. And I'm just moving my cursor around. You can see different cells are being highlighted as I use my arrow keys to move my cursor around. The other thing that I wanted to point out is when you're in a cell, it kind of has a little box around it, and you can look right inside, or you can see right here the contents. This is cell F10. Now you can also see the contents of a cell by looking up in this section here of the spreadsheet. This is called the formula bar, and you might hear me refer to the formula bar, or your instructions might refer to the formula bar on occasion. But we can see if we click up here, we can see that the same contents are up here as well. And I can even edit that. This is cell F10, and I can maybe say, well, just really want to say cell F10. And then if I hit enter, we can see down here in the cell that that change has been reflected. Notice when I was here and I hit enter, the active cell just goes to the cell right below that. Okay, well that is some basics of using Excel. A few other things before we get on to activity 1 that I wanted to point out is if we look up here, we see we have different tabs. File is important for saving, or if you want to save as, so you'll want to save this file onto your desktop. In fact, it might be a good idea before you even get started, just so you know you've got it saved out there somewhere. Say save as, and a good place for it in my mind is someplace, if you have a place where you put your homework, great, or if you want to just go to your desktop. I'm just going to go to my desktop right here, and we've got, I'm just going to call it BUA 235 homework number, I can get number 2. And you can see save as type Excel workbook. And I'm just going to go ahead and save that on my desktop. Then I can find it easily. The other thing that you'll notice up here is there's a home tab. And home tab is when you will have a lot of your formatting type features. And so we call this the home tab. Other tabs out there, the insert tab, the draw tab, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, and help. And if you click on a particular tab, you'll see there's a whole host of options that come up. We call this the ribbon. And you can see on the home tab, we have an area here for cutting and pasting in the clipboard. We have an area here for fonts if we want to change the font itself, change the font size, if we want to bold something or italicize or underline. We can change the background color of a cell. And you can see, let's just go ahead and type in here, F5. And you can see with that, if I click on this, I can make that a green background. And I can change my font color to be, what shall we do, red, Christmassy, right? Not very pleasing to the eye, but that's how you go ahead and change your colors and your background color. We can, if we want to remove it, we just say no fill, and we'll just go back to a black font color. Here, if we want to format things, and there's a bit in one of our activities later on, and I'll show you how to use this section right here. But if I ever say something like, go to the Home tab and look in the alignment section of the ribbon, I'm saying the Home tab, and I'm saying in the ribbon, the alignment section, we're talking about this section right here. So that's just some ways to navigate around. So far, we've looked at how an Excel spreadsheet is structured. It has rows and columns. The intersection is a cell, and we can reference that cell by the column name and the row name. Well, let's look at this specific sheet here. You can have more than one sheet, and if we look down here, we have some tabs. This is called our commission worksheet. We can see we have another tab down here for the Peach Co. income statement. And if I click on that, we can see we have another sheet out here. And I have a Coffee Co. sales. And if I click on that, I can see I have another sheet with information about a coffee company.